stop Chatswood, then Chatswood, 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 Chatswood.
Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Gino and this is part 2 of the Louis Vuitton Savoir Rêver vlog. There was a lot I needed to say in part 1, but just the raw footage alone was over 20 minutes long. So I thought that deserved its own dedicated video. And that video is definitely something you need to sit down and watch through. Unlike this video, which you can just leave me playing on in the background because it's just going to be me talking. So this event was not on my radar. I was not aware that this was even happening this year. But on 8 April, my CA sent me a message saying that they're going to be hosting the Savoir Rêver event in Sydney this year. I didn't know much about the event, but later on I would find out that this is an event that is hosted every 2 years. But they alternate between Sydney and Melbourne. So they had one in 2024 in Melbourne, now 2026 in Sydney, then 2028 will be back in Melbourne. I said, yes, please put me on the guest list. I picked 23 May, which is a Saturday. You have to be allocated a time slot. You just don't turn up whenever you like. This was over a month of me of waiting between me finding out and the actual day itself. For that whole month, I was actually poring over the Louis Vuitton website just to see if there's anything I like. My CA sent me some select pictures of some of the pieces that will be on display. My jaw was dropping when I was like inquiring about some pieces and it was already $29,000. I'm like, okay. But by the time the event rolled up, I already had like 2 or 3 things on my wish list. Fast forward to 23 May, a private driver pulls up in a BMW to pick me up and my +1, and they would drive us directly to the venue, which is the Lands by Capella. It's a heritage building in the heart of Sydney, which was remodeled and repurposed into an events venue. So for this event, LV hired out an entire floor. Later, we pull up to the venue. I exit the vehicle and my CA is waiting at the front door, and we immediately get escorted up a couple levels to where the event is taking place. I saw a lot of CAs running around the entire floor. There were CAs like darting in and out of the different rooms. I kept getting introduced to different CAs and different people that work within the company. At one point during this guided tour, I even got to meet one of the people that work on trunk art. I think she does the pre-approvals for trunk art. One of these CAs was assigned to our group. He was the one giving the tour because she knew a lot more about the pieces and the story behind them. And just before we enter the first room, we get a glass of champagne and then we start walking across the different rooms. The tour started off with a small display of the vintage trunks, just showing the history of the brand. I wish I could have spent more time looking at those pieces, but we were really just powering through all of these rooms. So I didn't get a chance to really sit down and look at all of it. Each room has its own specific theme. They did have names, but I totally forgot it. So I'm just going to talk off the cuff and just tell you what I thought the theme of the room was. The first room, I guess, would be the African theme because it had a lot of animal print motifs on the trunks. I could just sit here for an hour and just go through every single piece that I saw and just talk about what I love about it, but I'm just going to talk about some of the more peculiar pieces I saw. In this room, I saw a rug. I asked about it. They said they did not sell that specific rug, but they do make rugs. The next room is the watch room. They had some high watch pieces there. We're talking minimum $30,000 and up. I noticed that some of the pieces were missing from the display. Later I would find out that it's because when you get up to the shopping component at the end of this tour, you can request pieces that you saw while you were walking around and they will take it out of the display and bring it to you for inspection. Next, we went to the blacklight room where they had one giant limousine. Using a blacklight, it looks like it's glow in the dark, but it's really just white paint. And my +1 was actually wearing my jumper, which does not glow in the dark, but because of the black light, it looks like it does. Next room, I guess you could call it the man cave because it just had a whole bunch of menswear and these giant watch cases and these mini wardrobes. We're talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars now. Men's bags in exotics. I guess my favorite piece from that room would be the game table, where the center of the table, you could interchange it between different board games. It had like chess, checkers, and below it was a mahjong set. And I'm sure there were other games integrated into it. My actual favorite piece would be the pinball machine. I could have spent like an hour just playing that. I also want to mention this chair. This was something that I was kind of curious about adding on my wish list, but after sitting on it, it is the most unstable chair ever. It's so wobbly because it doesn't have traditional feet that are like grounded on the floor. If you shift your center of gravity, you will tip off the side. So I don't know who that chair is designed for. The next room would be the holiday in the countryside, which had a lot of capucines and exotic capucines and a lot of ready-to-wear. This ready-to-wear is stuff that came off the runway, so they were also available to purchase. Maybe not directly off that mannequin because like it's couture. There was also the fine jewelry room. Nothing much to say there except like what I saw was very beautiful. The next room would be the ladies' dressing room, which had a lot more of the couture gowns, and I want to mention this perfume trunk. Now, LV make quite a few iterations of their perfume trunks. I guess I have the smallest version, but this one is quite sizably larger. It was just sitting on a table against the wall, and if you buy this trunk, you will also get a ticket to France and go to the perfumery where they actually concoct all of these perfumes, and you will be allowed to make a bespoke perfume working with the head of the perfume department. How much does that trunk cost to actually get you a ticket to France? And the perfume that you make for yourself, you are eligible for a lifetime of refills of that specific brew or blend. The next one, I guess, is the house party room, which featured a lot of homewares and dining. Also in this room was a dress apparently worn by Zendaya. If I find the photo of her wearing it, I'll put it up now. This is a piece that you could order, but it would have to be a made-to-measure order. The next room was the living room. I know, yeah, very exciting name, but this one featured a lot of trunks that involved making cocktails and mixed drinks and like storing champagne and all that. One day I'll get something like that. And the last room is the beach house. The displays had a tower of trunks with a Boy Chapeau on top. On the side of them was artwork inspired by Bondi Beach. That was beautiful. There was also some pet accessories and a ping pong table, a surfboard, a bike. Even the furniture that you're seeing that you saw in part 1, those are LV furniture. All of it. So that whole walkthrough, I guess, took about an hour. The CA that was guiding us kept wanting us to move to the next room, but I'm like, wait, can I just stay back for like another minute? I need to like do a double take on what I'm seeing here. The tour ends and we get taken to the common room. This is where, I guess this is like the end of the line, where clients sit down with their CAs and where they request pieces that they saw during that walkthrough, and those pieces are brought to your table to have an inspection. So we got allocated a table. I'm sitting down. We have some canapes and some cocktails coming in. We're having those while we're waiting for some of the pieces that I requested to be brought out. Like I said before, I had a few pieces in mind that I wanted to see, that being the alphabet trunk and the mouth floor. Those were realistically in my budget. I did ask for the Eiffel Tower trunk because I genuinely was just so fascinated by it. I wanted to know like the dimensions and how do the drawers work and all that. So they were more than willing to bring that piece out to for me to look at as well. $113,000. I thought the limousines were expensive enough, and they're giant. They're like the size of coffee tables, and we're talking like 80,000 at least for a limousine. So this piece for 113, wow. I'll interject now and say that I really want to build my own tower trunk with LV trunks. I don't want to pay 100,000 just to get that one-off piece, but I definitely want to be collecting trunks over the years and build like an actual substantial tower out of it. So I'm sitting there, I'm inspecting both of the Malfleur and the Alphabet trunk. They only had SYD, so I asked for the letter Y. I'm looking at it all. At one point, there's like 3 CAs around me while I'm looking at these pieces, and then I look up and all 3 are gone. And so it was kind of weird, like thinking like, where did everybody go? In the time that like they all disappear, I go straight back to the bar and ask for more cocktails. So no time wasted. I was definitely either looking at a trunk or drinking. So eventually I decide on what piece I'm getting. I will tell you what I got at the very end of this video. I make a full deposit of that piece. Okay, I think this is the end of the night now. We've already passed our 2-hour allocated time slot. It's like well past 5 p.m. So I'm like, okay, I think this is the end of the event. I'll just say goodbye now. My CA then says, oh no, wait, we have a celebratory dinner after this. Okay, I'll stay back if you're okay with me staying an extra hour. In the same room, we get escorted to a different table, which was more of a proper dining table. And we get served, what did we get? We got like a bread roll with butter, but in the shape of the clover. We got tenderloin and mushroom, lobster pasta, and mascarpone cheese encasing this jam and sponge cake dessert. That was very delicious. I actually got seconds of the tenderloin. Me, my +1, and my CA, we were just having dinner at that table, just chilling, talking. And yeah, like I got to ask like a lot of questions about like pieces and insider info about like what's going on with the brand. In terms of what's the next event in this year, I don't know. I know LV opened a new store in Chatswood.
First stop, Chatswood, then Chatswood, 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 Chatswood.
They didn't really have any party for that apparently. It was just really a soft opening. So if they're not going to be holding an event there, I'll make my own way there like sometime in the future just to check it out myself and maybe do a vlog there, maybe. So here is what I purchased. I placed the order on the 23rd. It actually arrived in store on the 3rd or 4th of June, which was a surprise because like I was checking the app seeing like the status order of this piece. I wasn't getting anything, but then all of a sudden I get an automated email saying that this piece was ready to collect. So the moment you've all been waiting for, this is what I ordered. And I will do a whole dedicated review video of this. Not ready yet because I still haven't even chosen a photo shoot location to like feature this piece. So I won't harp on too much about this. But this will be the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out my Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. That way. You can hold it the other way. Also, bring the suit jacket so you can see. You use both hands for this. I'm wearing you keep tilting the foot.